What is up, best ones worldwide? It's the best one, Donnie here, back with the big event New York March 2025 haul. If you're not a best one yet already and you want to watch me rebuild my collection or live my nostalgic memories, recommend you to hit that subscribe button now, turn on the post notifications, because of course you already know the grind is real. And before we get into this haul, I just want to say thank you guys for all the love and support with the channel. You guys are really growing it, and I'm seeing the numbers. We're so close to 2,000 subscribers. If you guys haven't checked out the Big Event New York vlog over on the We Are Wrestling YouTube channel, highly recommend checking that out. Lots of great interactions, and I want to thank everybody that I met at the big event, because I did meet a lot of you guys there. So it's always cool to see you guys and just talk wrestling figures, talk about wrestling, taking photos, and just having a good time, because that's what it's all about. But today, in this video, I'm going to show you all the things I bought at Big Event New York, and of course, all the memorabilia and wrestling figures we got signed on this little adventure. So, with that being said, let's get it. The grind is real. So before we get into all the wrestling stuff that I got at Big Event New York, when I got back from my trip, I got to give a shout out to my fiance's sister's boyfriend, Shane, because he got me this right here. We got a Happy Meal box for the McDonald's All-American, which I think this was so cool. When I saw this, I definitely had to message him because he does work at McDonald's, and he was able to get me one of these. So I do got to give him a quick shout out here. And I wanted to show this off because I think the box here, the box design is sick. So now, let's show you guys all the cool 8x10s we picked up at Big Event. In case you guys don't know, I've been collecting 8x10s, and I do get personalized by me pretty much since I started meeting wrestlers, which goes all the way back to 2004, when I met Scotty 2 Hotty and Billy Gunn at a local mall. So I do like to get my 8x10s, and I love to keep them in my binder, which, man, I wish back in the day I got the encyclopedia and just did it, but I've already gotten way too deep with the 8x10s. It's way too late to get into the encyclopedia, so we're just going to stick with those. But starting things off, we do have our pro photo ops here, and starting things off, we have the prime time players right here. Titus O'Neil and Darren Young, which I've gotten to meet Darren Young in the past at a local indie show, but Titus O'Neil, this is my first time meeting him, and the only thing I hated about this was they were so late to the pro photo op, so I definitely missed out on a couple people I wanted to meet, and it was a little stressful, but we got it done, so there's that. Then I also got to meet my favorite women's wrestler, Mercedes Moné, Sasha Banks. I've been such a big fan of her work, especially her versus Bayley at TakeOver. One of the greatest women matches of all time. There's no debating. But there it is. We got the CEO, Mercedes Moné. Great photo op. And I feel like the more I'm doing the pro photo ops, the better I am. It's a very quick moment. You go in there, take your picture like a school photo, and I feel like I do a pretty good job at them. And finally, we got AJ Lee. I had to take advantage of this opportunity, and she was so nice. But there it is, we got good old AJ Lee. Those were the only pro photo ops I did. But now, let's go through all of these 8x10s. We got a lot of them. And there's a lot of people that don't have memorabilia or wrestling figures I can get autographed, which is also another reason why I like to do the 8x10s. Starting things off, this is his first United States appearance. We got Tenzan. I think that's how you pronounce his name, but he was a part of the New World Order, so I definitely had to take advantage of this opportunity here because New Japan guys don't really come around often, and this was his first United States appearance, so very excited to add Tenzan to the collection. Then we also did get Caitlyn as well, which I'm surprised she never got an elite figure during her time, because her and AJ Lee, like, they were the faces of that Divas division before we got back to the women's revolution. But there it is, we got Caitlyn there, which she looks totally different now than she does before. Then we also do have Tegan Nox here, somebody who just left WWE, and somebody who's very underrated and talented. Can't wait to see what she does. Also, we did get the Great Khali here, and he was not personalizing at all, and yeah, he didn't seem like he wanted to be there, which kind of sucked, but it is what it is. I had to take advantage of meeting the Great Khali. We also did get another one here as well for the 8x10, because we are going to be probably doing a giveaway for one of these to give to either the best ones or the We Are Wrestling. Don't know yet, but we are going to do some type of giveaway with a Khali autograph. And there's the one that he messed up on, which is why I got a free 8x10 out of it, because he pretty much just like shoved like my item and pretty much ruined the paint marker with the 8x10. Then we also did get the Masterpiece, Chris Masters. He was one of my favorite guys I got the opportunity to meet. So freaking cool. And I really hope he does come back to WWE at some point, maybe a Royal Rumble appearance, or we can get a Legends deal, because I would love to get an Elite Masterpiece. But he was somebody that was really cool. Wasn't expecting to have a great experience with him. And because of my experience, I might have to get him on my podcast sometime. Love the Masterpiece. Then I also got to meet Vampiro as well, which he didn't really have a lot of good 8x10s, so I just went with the one that looked the coolest. So I went with that. Because sometimes with the 8x10s, it is a hit or miss. But speaking of a good 8x10, Salvatore Promotions, they know what they're doing. We have Claudio Castagnoli, and I could have went with the Cesaro one, but I like his run better as Claudio in AEW, which is why we chose this 8x10, which was a part of my VIP package with him. So I did get that. Then we also got to meet Odyssey Jones, somebody who should have a job in WWE right now due to the false accusations and stuff that happened, which is what led to his release. He's somebody that really should be in WWE right now and probably would be the next Mark Henry, seriously. Very talented guy. Hope he gets his job back with WWE soon, or goes to AEW or goes somewhere big, because the man's way too talented to not be signed. So there's Odyssey Jones. Very nice guy. Then I also got to meet Lacey Evans as well, which I'm so mad that I did not get her figure in on time. So unfortunately, I only had to go with an 8x10. But we went with this one, and I thought it's a good 8x10, which High Spots, they do a great job with those. They brought her in. Then I also got to meet Queen Sharmell, and I've met Booker T several times. So it was really cool to get the opportunity to meet his wife, Sharmell. Told her I really enjoyed the run with her and King Booker. She couldn't be any nicer. That was a cool experience. Then we got to meet Mr. Kennedy! And I had to go with the Money in the Bank, because this is one of the dumbest booking decisions in WWE history. They really should have let the man cash in the Money in the Bank and hold a world title. He was that good during the Ruthless Aggression era. Don't believe me? Go check it out for yourself online. But there it is, we got Mr. Kennedy here. That was a cool experience. Then I also got the opportunity to meet Sonya Deville, who just left WWE pretty much not even a full month ago. So very excited to have her 8x10 in the collection. She was very nice as well. That was a cool experience. Then we also got to meet Indy Hartwell, who also just left WWE recently. And Ultimate Star Promotions, they're also another great vendor that goes to big event. And they always bring in people I need to meet. And Indy Hartwell, very nice. And it was really cool. Like, we talked about YouTube a little bit, because she's been doing vlogs on her channel. Told her I've been enjoying them. Gave her a business card of We Are Wrestling. Then we also do have the Headbangers. And these are my favorite type of 8x10s. Like, if there's any of them that I really do like the most, it's these ones, because it does have like the old scratched logo there. It's got the name of the tag team and usually the name of the superstar. So I don't know why, I always liked these ones with the white border. But there it is, we got Mosh and Thrasher of the Headbangers. Man, I love the Attitude Era. Then we also got here Tommy Wildfire Rich. He was a part of the FBI later on in his career, but this is a picture of his early days here. This is, I believe, after he was teaming with Tony Atlas. So I never got to meet Tommy Rich, so I wanted to add that to my old school 8x10s. This one, oh man, this was a cool 8x10. We got to meet Primetime Elix Skipper, and I had to go with the famous cage spot in TNA, because there is nothing more iconic than this shot right here. And I think that this is where TNA really distanced themselves and really like came out with their own identity, because they did have that six-sided ring, but this is one of the moments that they replay forever, so had to get that Prime Time. Then we also do have here Candice Michelle. She was very nice. I had a really awesome experience with her. And this is, I had to go with this 8x10 here with the wand. Like, I remember this run back in 2006. Candice Michelle, very underrated talent. Maybe a future WWE Hall of Famer. Maybe. Then, we also do have here, I've been waiting to meet him for the longest time, Rico, man. I already got to meet Billy, I got to meet Chuck, now, yet to meet Rico. And he was also very, very nice. Absolutely loved Rico, so had to go with his first promo shot. Then I also got to meet Justin Gabriel here, and went with the yellow paint marker. You probably can't see it good on the camera, but it does have Nexus on it, which is cool. I had to go with the Nexus because he was my favorite member in that group. Then here it is, we got AJ Lee, which, man, I friggin' love this 8x10. I wish they had better options, but this one I had to go with, and honestly, I really like the red paint marker on this because of like the red and like the background and like the red in her gear, so I went with that. And then we also do have here Zilla Fatu, and I can't believe he actually watches the We Are Wrestling channel. That really shocked me a lot, because Zilla Fatu, I think that this kid is the future. And I have nothing but good things to say about him. I'm sure you already heard it on the We Are Wrestling podcast this week. If you haven't, go over there and subscribe. We're doing live episodes every Wednesday. But I can't praise this man more than I already have. But there it is. We got Zilla Fatu. And we also do have Titus O'Neil here, which I'm so mad that like he did not wait for my, like he didn't like shake the paint marker, because he was taking so long. So by the time like I shook it, it was already bad. And yeah, this 8x10 doesn't look good at all. Didn't have the best experience with Titus, which really upset me. And finally, the last 8x10 we have here is Mercedes Moné, and this is to my buddy Ben, because he is the biggest Sasha Banks fan out there. So I had to go with this 8x10 just so he can look up close to her face. I know he's going to absolutely love this when I give this to him. And I also do have my own 8x10 as well, but I'm going to be honest with you, don't know where the hell it went, so I am going to have to dig through probably my suitcase and stuff to find it. But those are all the 8x10s that we got signed at the big event New York. Now, let's show you guys some of the memorabilia stuff we got signed, and then we'll get into the figures. So now, let's get into the non-wrestling figures we got signed. And starting off, we got some trading cards. And the first one here, we got AJ Lee's rookie card here. Had to get this autographed here. Great freaking card. Which I did have like this VIP thing with her, so I was looking for something cool to get signed. And I figured, why not get her rookie card? I feel like this would be a cool item to get signed. And it didn't really cost me a lot of money either. Got a really good deal on the card. Now it's autographed, so that's a cool thing. Then we also did get the Great Khali, and it's like this like National Hero Series, and this is his India back. I like the India background here, and he did sign it. I'm surprised that he was able to fit it there on that little card, so I do give Khali credit for at least doing that for me. Then speaking of Khali, we did get this magazine signed by him. The SmackDown, I believe this is when he debuted, and I thought that this was a very cool item, something I didn't see before. I didn't see anybody have this magazine signed at the event, so I thought that that was a really cool, unique piece. Gonna have to get a frame for that, and probably put it once we expand the studio and stuff. And finally, we do have here a Sasha Banks Funko Pop. And with her, I did buy the VIP because I knew the line was going to be super long, so I was able to skip it. And I got a bunch of figures signed and other cool things. And I decided to go with the Funko Pop here, which I think her signature looks so badass. Like, I love that Sasha Banks signature. Looks so good. And finally, we did bring our good old Hardcore Championship. And this is one of probably my favorite replica championship that I do have in my collection. And the signatures that I'm getting on this title is incredible. And I'm just going to continue to get people who have won this title to sign it. Which, on here, like, I'm probably going to do a whole video on my replica titles with all the signatures I have. But just to give you guys, like, a little preview, we do have Al Snow on here. We got Hardcore Holly. We got Rob Van Dam, Raven. We got Jeff Hardy. And we also have Hardcore Holly. And now we have Mosh and Thrasher of the Headbangers on here. Because they just had so many iconic Hardcore Championship segments. And that Fun Time USA, like, I had to get them to sign this. So freaking awesome. Just so many signatures, including Mick Foley's right there in the middle. But I think I am going to be doing a whole title thing once, like, we catch up on everything that's coming into the studio. Before we get into all my autographed figures, I do want to show you all the cool things that we picked up at Big Event New York that we're going to be adding to our collection. Starting things off, we do have a bunch of Lucy's. And starting things off, we do have a basic Alex Riley figure. I think that this is his first time in the line. And I think this gear is from the game show NXT. So I think I'm going to throw this onto the NXT shelf somewhere. But we don't have an Alex Riley figure. Wish he had an Elite. Then we also did find a Mike Knox figure here as well. So I am excited to add this here to the collection. Mike Knox, very underrated guy here. One of his only Mattel figures that he's got. Then we also picked up a Justin Gabriel Nexus, which my other one was a little banged up, the one I picked up. And for the price on these loose figures, like at these tables throughout the event, especially before like the end of it, because nobody wants to bring home extra stuff, they do knock down the prices significantly. So we definitely got good money, like good prices on all of this stuff. So there it is. We got Justin Gabriel, my favorite member of the Nexus. Met him as well. And definitely a better one than the one I had previously. So very excited to add that. Then I also picked up a Santino Marella, Ruthless Aggression. This one has been one I've been trying to hunt for a little bit. So we're going to be adding this to our collection. Then we also got a Shane McMahon here, part of the Titantrons. I do have the Vince in the gray suit. Now we have Shane in the blue. So there's that. It's got the little metal plate you put on the stage. Really like that a lot. Then we picked up some Superstar figures as well, because there are some that I'm missing. Just started getting into them a few months ago. And man, the prices were so good that I couldn't pass on them. We got the Big Red Monster Kane. Very excited. And I'm probably going to do a whole miscellaneous Superstars, like unboxing part 2. Because we do have the Brett and the Jim. It just came into the mail. So I'll probably just unbox these at the same time. So there's Kane. That's good. Then we also do have Shawn Michaels, one of the early series here with the Intercontinental title. So I thought that that was a really cool find. And then our last Superstars that I've been looking for a hot minute now is Doink the Clown. And this one is an unpunched one here, but we don't keep these in the package. So I am going to have to unbox this, so please don't hate me in the comments for this. But Doink, I needed this Superstars one so bad. And I'm mad that I was late to it, but I actually did pay cheaper than retail on them. So, am I really mad? I don't think so. Then we got a little goodie bag from J&J Collectibles. Man, they are some of the best. I love going to their booth every time at Big Event. They have such great deals. And I'm so mad that, like, I couldn't, like, I had, like, it was very, like, Man, like, I wish I spent more time in this booth because they had so much good things, but I was already running out of time, and I even had to travel home, so let's go over this stuff. Well, first, we did win ourselves a trading card here. We got a Maxine Dupree, because every purchase, you get to spin this wheel that they have, which I think is so cool. Great way, like, you get something free. Can never go wrong with that. J&J is friggin' awesome, and there it is here. They got a little barcode. Let that focus for a second. Which, man, they're absolutely killing it. I actually do go on their website periodically to take a look and see what they have. But we did pick up 2 loose figures that we're going to be adding to our collection. And starting things off, we have TNA Marvel, Elix Skipper Primetime. I met him earlier in the day, so I had to get this figure for my collection, the TNA shelf. And then I also had to pick up Little Guido here, part of the ECW San Francisco line, which I actually do have his figure signed in my collection, but I don't have a loose one for the ECW San Francisco shelf. So I am excited to add Nuncio there because he was the first person I ever brought to a wrestling convention as a vendor. So there it is, man. We got Little Guido here, which doesn't work, but that's okay because he's going to be on the shelf. Moving on now to the next item we have here. I got this artwork by Naomi, very talented artist, which I will put her thing right here. If you guys want to go follow her, she does amazing artwork, and I had to pick this up. This is when John Cena turned heel and sold his soul to The Rock. She made a beautiful artwork for it, so I had to pick up this copy, and it's not just on paper. It is on this tinfoil. So I did have to pick up her artwork because she is super talented, and she just started getting into tattoos as well. So if you're in the Long Island area and you're looking to get a tattoo done by her, you can definitely do that. Which I might have to make the trip out and do something, get like some tattoo done, get a tattoo done by her. But here it is, very cool piece. I actually do have a big poster of CM Punk and MJF that she drew, and it was 1 of 100 that I still have in my collection to this day, one of my favorite artwork pieces. And now I have this one to add, so I'm very excited about that. And finally, I didn't think I was gonna want to buy this, but I did it. And actually, I paid retail for this, so I was very, very surprised. Like, because the prices online for this thing is double the amount, which I couldn't believe in person. They only charged me $50 for this, which to me is absolutely insane. There it is, man. We got the heels and faces, CM Punk and Larry, which, yeah. The only reason I got this was for good old Larry, man. This was the reason, right here. $50, I'm glad I waited. I'm glad I waited. But the CM Punk I am going to be selling, and I'm probably going to be able to make my money back. Well, most of it, at least. So I am happy with that. But Larry's the reason I wanted this, because eventually I think I want to do a CM Punk shelf. And if I'm going to have a CM Punk shelf, I have to have Larry. And this is Larry's first figure, so why not? I think that this is insane. Heels and faces, great line. And I'm actually going to be pre-ordering their heels and faces, the 6-inch figures. I'm very excited about that. I'm going to give you guys a whole review here on the channel once those arrive in the mail. But there it is. We got good old Larry here. Very excited about that. So now let's show you guys all the wrestling figures we got signed. Alright, let's get into all the wrestling figures we got signed at Big Event. And starting things off here, we got the Headbangers, we got Mosh, we got Thrasher, and I love these Elite 2-packs that WWE Mattel has been coming out with, which now I have the Hardy Boys, I have the Dudleys, and I have the Headbangers all autographed signed, so I'm super stoked to add this to my collection here, especially even like the Hardcore Championship, having that signed by them. So freaking awesome. Then we did pick up this Elite Series 12 Justin Gabriel. We got this signed by him, and I couldn't believe the price I got on this through eBay, which, man, this was a great find, and one of his only Elite figures, so I had to get this signed because Gabriel, one of my favorite wrestlers, and the meet and greet experience was better than I expected it to be. So I had to go with this. I wish it was an Elite Nexus Justin Gabriel, but it is what it is. But I am happy to add this to the collection here. Moving on now to some Ruthless Aggression figures we have here. Jakks Pacific. We got the Masterpiece, Chris Masters signed. And the thing is, like, about these Ruthless Aggressions, a lot of them you can find really cheap online. Or even, like, at, like, toy stores. Like, they really don't go for a lot, and the packaging, like, amazing. Which, very excited to add Chris Masters to my collection. I wish these Ruthless Aggression ones that I do have here signed, they did have Mattel Elites, but they don't. And moving on, we do have Mr. Kennedy! And he was awesome. Very happy to get his first figure signed here. Really underrated guy. Wish he would also have an Elite figure, but he doesn't, so I had to go with the Ruthless Aggression. Then we also do have one of my favorite Jakks Pacific figures of all time. I remember getting this Christmas 2007. We got ourselves the Great Khali signed here, which, man, this was one of my favorite figures as a kid growing up. I remember Christmas Eve, my step-cousin actually got this figure, and I was so sad, thinking, oh man, like, I'm not gonna get it. And then Christmas morning, this was the figure I got, and man, one of my favorite ones. Surprisingly, out of all the figures I sold in my collection, I only had maybe like 10% that I kept without knowing which ones. And believe it or not, my Great Khali, my original one I got Christmas morning, I still have in my collection, and I only know that because he has that mark on the torso. But now we do have this figure in the package, autographed, so I had to get this. Amazing figure. Moving on now to our next figure we have here. We got Elite Titus O'Neil signed, and this is one of his only Elites. So I did get this, and yeah, I don't know if I like the purple or not on this, but it is what it is. Just very excited to add this to my collection here, which I'm glad the paint marker didn't act up on the figure. Thank God it was the 8x10 and not the figure. Moving on, we do have here a WWE Defining Moments Rob Van Dam autographed, and I've gotten to meet RVD so many times, and they did upcharge on this, which the only reason I did it was because I needed this autographed. Defining Moments is my favorite WWE figures to get autographed and signed, so I had to do it because I have Series 1 of the ringside exclusives all signed. Series 2, I have Kane, now I have RVD. And I'm hoping I can get LA Knight and CM Punk, maybe if they're announced at Fanatic Fest. But here it is, man. We got RVD, one of my favorites. And moving on now, we do have WWE Elite 101, Sonya Deville signed here, which, man, this gold paint marker looks so good on a lot of the figures I did get autographed, which I'm definitely going to be getting more signed with that gold paint marker. But there it is, Sonya Deville. I think that this looks really good. Very excited to have the opportunity to meet her. And I had to get her collector's edition figure signed as well. Went with the yellow paint marker to go with like the yellow gear. This figure I do want to try to find loose as well for my women's shelf, because this is the time I really enjoyed Sonya. Loved her work during this time. I didn't really like the general manager stuff, but there's that. Moving on, we do have a couple AEW figures that we got signed that we get to add to the collection. Finally, and starting things off, we have the Blade, and this gold paint marker looks so good on the AEWs. Like, I should have done the gold paint marker on all of them, but I like to kind of have the different colors to change it up a little bit. But the Blade looks really good signed. I gotten to meet Butcher and Blade before their figures came out at Hartford Comic Con, and they were so freaking nice. I was begging vendors to bring Butcher and Blade in, and even Blade's wife, Allie, when I would meet her at, like, big event in the Classic, I would always go up to her because she's a good friend of mine, and I would tell her, come on, you need to get the Blade and the Butcher here. Like, come on. What are we doing? But we finally got to meet Blade again and actually get his figure signed, and we also did get the Butcher as well. which, my god, the gold paint marker looks so freaking good on this AEW figure. These might be some of my favorite signatures that I got throughout this entire event, but I love the original AEW figure packagings because of the uniform, and I love getting them signed, because a lot of these guys I saw before they went to AEW, like MJF, Darby Allin, all these talented independent guys that got an opportunity. So the AEW wave is some of my favorite stuff to collect, and this is why I like to keep a mint on card and get them autographed, because just so cool to see like where they were to where they are now. Alright, I got my last pile all together here, because this has been a long haul video. I feel like they just get longer every time we go to big event, but here we go. Starting things off, we got a bunch of Cesaro, Claudio figures we got signed. And our first one is the AEW Rare Chase, 1 of 3,000. We got that signed by good old Claudio. So there's that. Very excited about having that. Moving on, we do have his standard figure here, Series 9 of the Unmatched line, which this one I did see pegging for a while, but we got this one autographed. Very excited about that. Which, Cesaro, let me tell you, one of the nicest guys. Really down-to-earth guy. And we did get his first time in the line figure here. We got his WWE Elite Series 23 as Antonio Cesaro. We got that autographed, which, another great figure here. And I'm really starting to get into, like, the older Elite packaging since getting CM Punk's figure autographed. So, a really cool one to add to the collection. And our last Cesaro figure we have is his last one from WWE. We have Elite Series 93, which is also one of my favorite Elite style packages. The last good one. So we did have to get that autographed, which, man, the yellow paint marker looks so good on that. So very excited to add those to the collection. Moving on, we do have some Lita figures we got signed. And starting off, we have the WWE Draft figure, which I do have a Devon in the SmackDown one, so I'm going to probably put this right next to it. Got this signed, which I think looks so good. I wish that she did have a Titantron figure, one of those Jack's limited box figures, like the Stacy, the Tori, because I would have added that to my collection like that, but she doesn't, unfortunately. So there's that. We got the Draft. Now, let's get into some Mattels. We do have her Royal Rumble Elite here with more of a 2006, 2007 look. So there's that. I think the red paint marker looks so good on there. And finally, I did have to go with her friggin' first time in the line Elite figure here. The best Lita figure, in my opinion, by far. Had to go with the baby blue paint marker here. I think it just really pops out. Looks so friggin' good. And yes, I did not get her Monday Night Wars figure autographed because I don't like that style packaging. So if there's any time I can avoid getting that type of packaging autographed, I will do it. But here it is. We got good old Lita. Looks very good. Now, let's get into the main eventers, and starting off, we have her first time in the line, Mercedes Moné, Sasha Banks. We got her very first WWE figure autographed here, which, man, I love the yellow paint marker on this. Looks so good, especially because it's got, the NXT, yellow going throughout the packaging, so I think that really stands out. And it's very rare, when I do get basic figures autographed. Her and Mickie James are my two favorites of all time, so I had to get her first time in the line. Moving on to our Elite figure of hers, we have here, we got the Raw Elite of Sasha here signed, which I will say, I do like that light pink, paint marker here. I think it really does stand out on the figure. Looks so good. So we got that autographed. Then moving on, our next Sasha Banks figure, we had to go with the Elite 83 here. And I did have to go with the blue to go with the hair. I thought that that was a good color coordination there. So we do have that autographed, which I can't wait to hang that up. Super excited. And finally, I had to save the best for last, and that is my Elite Series 21 AJ Lee here, which, man, very small signature on a big window, but it is what it is. I love the green paint marker. She even said, that was a good decision. She said that looks sick. So I had to get that autographed. It looks so good. I'm surprised this is her only Elite figure. Like, I thought she would have way more than what she has. But now that I have CM Punk autographed in her, like, this is going to look so good together. And, like, this Elite packaging, man, I got some really good figures that I have autographed and signed with this. So, very excited. We're building something good here. So, there you have it, guys. I hope you enjoyed the big event, New York, March 2025. Figure haul. Let me know in the comment section below your favorite piece that I got signed at this event. Mine, I cannot pick. I really cannot pick at all. I gotta go with anything I got signed with that gold paint marker, because, like, I did not expect that to turn out so well. But if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to smash that like button now. If you're not a best one yet already, recommend you guys to hit that subscribe button now, turn on the post notifications. So many toy hunts, so many packages coming to the studio, so many videos lined up. Man, if there's a time to hit that subscribe button, it's right now, because we got lots of content coming out of nowhere. Links down in the description box below. You can go follow me over on my social medias. And go check out We Are Wrestling. If you guys want to see the full Big Event New York vlog, it is up over on that channel. It will be in the end credits as well. If you guys want to see my interactions with these larger-than-life superstars, meet my photos, and even them signing these figures and 8x10s and all this cool stuff, that video is out on the We Are Wrestling YouTube channel. So the links are all down in the description box below. But of course, to all the best ones out there worldwide, I love each and every one of you guys. I wouldn't be able to do any of this without your support, without you guys watching the videos, without you guys liking and subscribing. I wouldn't be doing any of this if it wasn't for you guys. You guys are all the ones that are able to make this happen for me. So from the bottom of my heart, I love you guys. And of course, you already know, we are taking over. Peace.